So I'm on my way to a hardscape project. This one happens to be a repair. And what happens up here in New England is we have what we call the freeze-thaw cycle. And when that occurs, a lot of rocks, stones, and boulders underneath our hardscape get pushed up. And they get pushed up with such great force that they can actually crack the hardscape. To prevent that, we always make sure that we do a good job with our prep work, which we can talk about later. But if you do end up with a crack in the hardscape, we're going to be able to fix it. Elsbeth?
Hi, Mark. Nice to meet you.
My pleasure. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, great.
So we bought this house a couple years ago. It's an investment property.
Okay.
It's a 2-family. We currently occupy the top unit and we're renting out the bottom one. We hope one day to rent out both units and move into a forever home. Until then, we have a very long to-do list for it.
Right.
We are finishing up getting the house painted. We have a walkway up to our tenant's unit that has some pretty big cracks in it that we would like you to look at.
Okay. Why don't you show me the walkway?
Right this way.
All right. I know you're doing a lot of work. I'm a landlord myself,
Oh,
so
man. It doesn't end.
never ends.
So these are the 2 big cracks that we're concerned about. We didn't really know where to start with the project, so.
Okay. Couple things that I noticed on my way over. One of them, and most importantly, was these control joints that are cut into the walkway.
Yep.
Those are cut in right after the pour, and the reason we do that is because up here in New England, we know this walkway is going to move with the seasons,
Yep.
especially the winter season.
Yep.
So we're actually just pre-cracking the walkway.
Okay.
What I noticed over here is you can see that the pre-cut they put in was not deep enough, and that's why this pad snapped in this direction.
Okay.
And over here, probably the same thing, except this one invited a lot more water in, which turned into ice, which activated the freeze-thaw, and that's why you can see the damage over here is a little bit more than over here.
Okay.
But I do have a few tricks that we can utilize, and I think we're going to be able to match this walk perfectly.
Perfect.
All right, let's get going.
Great.
All right. All right, Elsbeth, the first thing we're going to do is make those cuts we were talking about. Let's make sure we gear up with our safety stuff. Of course, we have the dust mask. We have eye protection. We got to put our ears in. This is going to be easy because I'm just going to take the tray on my saw and I'm going to ride it up against this kickboard. That's going to give us the straight line.
Okay.
Just do me a favor and follow behind with this vacuum cleaner and collect the dust. Why don't you cut this joint? I've already marked it out, so all you have to do is get that saw going and run it right through.
Okay.
And I'll get the dust. Excellent. If we were doing this entire walkway, we'd probably go rent a jackhammer, but because we have such a small section, we're actually going to have some more fun today with these sledgehammers. So what you want to do is bend your knees.
All right.
Hold that hammer as close as you can to the head. And then, just like swinging an axe, over the top and down on the ground. And we'll pick this thing apart in no time.
Sounds good.
Ready to go?
Yep.
Right now. Elsbeth, look what I found. See this rock right here?
Yep.
This is the guy that did all the damage right here.
Okay.
Any other big rocks we're gonna want to take out. This is all pushing up on the bottom side of that walkway. All right, Elsbeth, what I always tell everybody when we're doing masonry in the landscape is the prep work is the most important. A big factor in the prep work is going to be this gravel. It's there for drainage, but it also absorbs the pressure of a rock being thrown up by the frost. The gravel will absorb that pressure, and then when the frost goes away, the gravel fills back in and everything stays level. So you can even spill it out in piles because we're going to end up raking it through before we tamp. And I'll push it in here and tamp away. And you're going to let the weight of the tamper do the work, just like that. Excellent. I'm going to add some water to the process.
How come the water?
The water just helps the stone slide into place when it's being beat down.
Okay.
Next move is the forms.
Okay.
And these are going to be very, very simple. All we have is pre-cut 2x4. So I'm going to take mine and I'm actually going to jam it into the edge of the concrete that we left. Like that. That's going to help it lock down. I'm going to go to this edge over here. So there's actually no need for a level because I'm going from point A to point B.
Okay.
Normally I would be very concerned about a pitch to drain the water, but this 2x4 going to this edge and to the back edge is going to give us that pitch automatically. Level there. I'm going to take a hammer. Again, that's going to be the level of our concrete. It's going to be level with existing. Just in case we do get pressure, we'll put another stake right in. And again, we're going to want to keep that the same height as the form.
Yep.
This is just number 9 wire, and that's going to just keep the entire pad together.
Okay.
Now that that's down, we are ready to mix.
All right.
These bags come pre-mixed, so they have the correct amount of Portland cement, they have the correct amount of lime, and they have the correct amount of aggregate. So Elsbeth, all we have to do is now add some water.
Okay.
All right, I always start out with 2.5 gallons, which is basically half a bucket.
Okay.
And then all I do is move the concrete around, like that.
And how do we know how much water to add?
I have to consider the consistency that I want. If I want the concrete to be a little loose and fluid, I add more water. But for what we're doing today, we're going to want it on the stiffer side. All right, Elsbeth, this one's ready to go.
All right.
Yep, go right up. So now we're into the screeding part, and all we're going to do is take this 2x4. We're going to go back and forth until we get to the old walk. And if you see any low spots, let me know.
Okay.
Right on your edge, you're a little low, so I'll take the excess in the front. We'll go back, do the same thing. Excellent, excellent. Now we're going to use our mag float. It's short for magnesium float. What it does is it takes out all the high spots, it fills in all the low spots, and it actually brings the cream up. All right, we're going to use the edger to peel the concrete off of the form. Then we're going to use the spaceship to cut in our control joint. And lastly, we're going to use a sponge to expose as much aggregate as possible. And that's going to help us match the existing walkway. All right, Elsbeth, what do you think?
Looks great.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of homework.
Okay.
See these forms?
Yep.
Wait 3 or 4 days, take those out. Backfill, we save some dirt, so make sure you use that for the backfill.
Okay.
And again, when we did that dab with the sponge, what that did was expose a little bit of the aggregate. We're going to need Mother Nature's help on that, so a little bit of rain, a little bit of snow, but after a year, This concrete should look exactly like that concrete.
Great.
All right?
Any salt this winter?
So I tell everybody never, ever, ever use salt on any masonry products.
Okay.
What you want to use is brick sand that has 0 salt in it. You just throw it down. It gives you the grip if you do have ice or anything like that. But sweep it away in the spring and you'll be good to go.
Great.
All right?
All right.
Thank
you
you
so much for coming out, Mark.
All right, well, thanks for having me. And if you have questions about your house, we'd love to hear from you, so keep them coming. Until next time, I'm Mark McCullough for Ask This Old House. All right, left you with a little bit of homework, but
Not
nothing
too bad.
No?
I can manage.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.